Welcome to the StoryADay Podcast. This is Julie Duffy from StoryADay.org, encouraging you to be a writer every day, not someday. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. This is Julie from the StoryADay Podcast. It's April, it's that time of year again. You know what I'm going to be saying. I am going to be trying to enroll you in the StoryADay May Challenge for so many reasons. But first of all, if you want to take part and you want me to send you writing prompts every day in May, go over to storyaday.org/sign up and enter your email address there, even if you're already on my mailing list, because that will let me know that you want me to send you prompts every day of the challenge. That said, for people who haven't done the challenge before or who are on the fence, I am going to be talking a lot today about the importance of writing a lot. I'm going to be sharing with you some of the things I learned from sending out a survey this week, asking people about their writing dreams. I'm not going to give away anyone's individual dreams. I'm not going to betray any confidences here, but I thought it was very interesting that we have so much in common. So many of us share so much. So being in community with people who get it is hugely important. And it's not just me saying that. Psychologists believe this too. They point out that people break athletic records in competitions and in kind of performance situations where they are competing with others, where there's an audience. That's when people break their personal best, they break records, and they have a name for this. It's called social facilitation. And it's this idea that when you do a thing well, you actually do it better, faster, easier when you do it with an audience. Now, before the introverts cringe and slink away, I'm not talking about you have to get up on a stage and read in front of them or anything like that. But being with other people who are also striving to do something and being seen to be there actually makes us better. It makes us pull our socks up. It makes us perform better. So I'm going to really encourage you to sign up for the StoryADay Challenge and write every day, and also come over and do your victory dance, which means leaving a comment for us every day saying, I wrote today. I love it when I wake up in the morning and people in New Zealand and Australia are already posting saying, I wrote today, because then I'm like, oh, I guess I can do it. They did it. I can do it. So that community aspect of StoryADay has been there since the beginning. It's been one of the most powerful things about it. And I didn't know why until recently, but apparently the behavioral scientists have figured it out. And it's about that social part of us that exists in all of us because we're human and we do better when we do things together. So that's nice. There is a dark side to that though, because sometimes when we don't know what we're doing, we can feel inhibited. So I have a solution for that too. If you come and sign up at storyaday.org/sign up, you'll be taken, once you confirm all that, you'll be taken to a page where I've got a bunch of tools for you. There's fun stuff like stickers and a bingo sheet that you can fill out during the challenge. But there's also the StoryADay short story framework, which is a GPS for getting you through a single story. It just non-judgmentally gets you back on track. And it tells you when you've reached your destination. And it just, for those days when your story is trying to take wrong turns, the StoryADay framework will just, please turn around. You have reached your destination. It'll let you know these things. So there's that. And there's also the Creative Challenge Workbook, which will help you capture what you wanted to get out of this challenge. And you go through it and you get to write all these secret notes to yourself about your ambitions and what you really want to, what you want to be, what you want to have, what you want to do. And it lets you capture the excitement of the potential that is in you right now. And you create a document for yourself that's highly customized, highly personal, totally secret. And it's something you can refer to during the challenge. Because by day 15, you're going to be feeling a little kind of less excited, shall I say? And going back to your Creative Challenge Workbook and reminding yourself of your excitement and what you wanted before the challenge began can be incredibly powerful. A couple of years ago, somebody sent me a screenshot of theirs and it was, I couldn't read it, but I could see that every white space on the page, not just the lines, but all the margins, she turned it round and everything was covered in excitable scribbles about what her hopes and dreams were for her writing. And it was such a powerful document to keep on her desk, to keep her going whenever she felt like she could go and do something less hard, watch a TV show instead of committing to her writing. So I want you to go and grab all that stuff and really commit to your writing and do the prep work. There's the Story Sparks booklet where you can gather ideas as you wander around the world for the next 3 weeks. The colour of that flower, the sound of the wind in that tree, way that woman's grey hair kind of waves like this, and all these details that you can drop into stories when you're feeling a little stuck for creativity during the challenge. Start collecting those story sparks now. So speaking of the Creative Challenge Workbook and how it lets you capture your dreams, I did send out a survey to the StoryADay community this week asking people about their dreams, their secret dreams, even their dark and twisted dreams of, getting revenge through a life well lived, that kind of thing. And I was a little surprised at the results because I talk so much here about the rewards of writing and the rewards of building a writing practice that I've forgotten to acknowledge just how many of us get excited by the idea of a massive publishing deal and a streaming TV series deal that comes after it, and getting to sit on the sofa with an interviewer and talk about a book and hear from readers what an impact our book has made on the world. And that's so exciting. And we don't talk about it. And it's not necessarily something that we feel we ought to crave adoration, but it's not about that. It's about, deep down, it's about making an impact. And it's about being able to live a good life. Most people who responded wanted to make money from their writing, not because they're greedy, but because it would give them time for more writing. And that's writing is a thing that makes them happy. And so if the big publishing deal is something that you crave, that is great motivation. It's also a little bit far off, so it's hard to keep that excitement going, except if you keep acknowledging it and keep talking about it. It can be difficult to talk about that with people outside the writing world because your friends and family don't know how long it takes to write a single complete work. They don't know how long it takes to find an agent, how long it takes to find an editor, how long the production takes to from offer to books on shelves. So you tend to get a lot of comments from them. Oh, how's the book? Have you finished that book yet? When are you going to get published? When's the bestseller coming? All of which is meant supportively, but which can sound like criticism to us. And it tends to make us stop talking about our dreams and stop talking about our ambitions for our writing and tamp it down. But when we squash down our dreams, we are wasting a lot of energy keeping them, holding them down. That takes effort. And then we're not using that energy for writing. Instead, we have to use that energy to elevate ourselves back up to a point where we feel like there's a point to us writing, where we feel like it's not embarrassing to be excited about the idea that we might get published and impact tons of people. And it wouldn't hurt if we get to visit the set and there's gorgeous actors there that we get to drool over. But it gets a little embarrassing to talk about that with norms, with people outside the writing world. So I want to acknowledge so many of you admitted to me that is your secret dream, and good for you. Let's go for it. But the thing is, in order to get there, you have to write, and you have to write a lot, and you have to keep that enthusiasm going, and you have to make mistakes and experiment and still keep that enthusiasm going. That's why StoryADay exists. It's a place for you to come and try out wacky ideas. If you're writing a different story every day, you can try all kinds of stuff. You can also use it to do character studies for that novel that's going to become the TV streaming sensation. You can write stories around the edges of your novel. You can write scenes for your novel. Or you can write true short stories that are going to get published in publications that will attract the attention of agents, which will get you published with your larger works. Or you can use the short stories as palette cleansers. If you're working on a novel and it's just, there's this whole huge house that you're trying to support with two hands and you need a break, you write a short story and it's origami, it's throwaway. But you have to keep your dreams alive. You have to keep them safe. You have to nurture them. And I would argue that it's much easier to do that when you've got people to talk to who get it. You may not want to talk about this stuff with your family and friends because you are sick of hearing, when's the novel coming? When's the bestseller coming? Again, very supportive. They love us. They don't mean to put us down. But sometimes talking about this stuff with people who get it is good. So come into the StoryADay community, post in the blog, consider joining the Superstars group, which is opening up again soon. I'll talk more about that later. But really, this is important and real stuff. So briefly, what is StoryADay and why should you take part? It's a month of extreme short story writing. It's a challenge. It is an outburst of enthusiastic creativity with a ridiculous goal, which is to write a story every day. The very ridiculousness of it is part of what makes it work. It helps you to lower your inhibitions. It helps you to create at volume and not get stuck in perfectionism. It helps you to find out when you like to write, how you like to write, what tools you like to use to write. Because if you're committing to writing a story every day, you're going to find ways to make it work, and you're going to notice the times when you don't like what you did. If you don't like writing before you go to bed because it keeps you awake, don't do it. Find another time in the day when you can do it. Experiment with that. You've got 31 days to do experiments. There's no right or wrong. In its purest form, during StoryADay May, you pledge to write and complete a short story every day. We write first drafts. There's no editing. There's no critique. There's no need to publish anywhere. It's just your sandbox where you get to play. I encourage you every day to come over to the blog and post your victory dance, which is a comment saying, I did it. By posting your victory dance, you are not only celebrating yourself, which is a great behavioral science strategy for building habits, you're actually also inspiring other people to get their work done. So it's a real gift to the community if you come and post every day. It is, to be honest, StoryADay is my immodest attempt to save the world by saving writers, by letting you have a place where you can acknowledge your ambitions, where you can act on them, where you can be the kind of person who gives it a shot. That's the kind of person you want to be. Whether or not you end up with that publishing deal and that gorgeous cast doing your show on TV and all the TV and podcast interviews you can handle, whether or not you actually achieve that, don't you want to be the kind of person who tried rather than the kind of person who just dismissed it and said, it'll never happen, and then wasted a lot of energy pretending you didn't care? Send that energy out into stories and start this May. Okay, so here's what StoryADay is not. StoryADay is not an attempt to write 31 good stories. It is, in fact, an attempt to lower your standards, to get you to write prolifically and let go of some of that perfectionism so that you can find out what you love to write, what you hate to write, how you write best, how to persevere on good days and bad, how to find the points of the day and the inspirational things that will help you to be at your most creative, how to write your best, what tools work for you, what times of day work for you, how to build a practice, and so much more. StoryADay is also not strict. You do get to set your own rules. I encourage you to set a rule that will inspire you. So if you are the kind of person that thrives on streaks, tell yourself you're going to write something every day. Whether it's a 6-word story or a 600-word story or a 2,000-word story, you will write a complete thing every day. It will have a beginning, a middle and an end, and go for it. You streaks people, streaks freaks, go for it. Other people need a little grace. They need to be able to say, you know what, I need 2 get out of jail free cards for my challenge because I know if I break a streak, I'm liable to just go, well, that's it, and quit. So give yourself some grace if that's going to work for you, and allow yourself X number of days where you get to not write a story. Other people know their schedule, know their rhythms, know that they need a day off a week, know that they need only to write on these particular days of the week. Whatever your rules are, set them up before the challenge and then stick to them and comment and let us know how it's going. You should also feel free, and this is something that I've developed over the 13 years of the challenge. I think that you should also feel free to adapt your rules weekly. So after week 1, if you decided you were going to write every day and at the end of week 1 you're like, I hated that, make different rules for week 2. Say, I'll try writing 3 stories. And if you get to the end of week 2 and you say, I really didn't feel like I was pushing myself, next week I'm going to write 5 stories. Adapt. This is about a glorious, ridiculous outpouring of creativity, but my secret dream is to get you building a writing practice. And so I don't want you to come skidding to a halt at the end of May, exhausted and having learned nothing. I want you to experiment. Energy for writing changes as you go through various stages of life, various seasons, your practices. I never was a morning writer when I was younger. Now I get up and I write in the mornings. I would not have believed you if you had told me 10 years ago that this had happened. But so we're constantly evolving as people. So I want you to be building a writing practice that gets you writing a lot so that you can pursue those ambitious, reasonable, unreasonable dreams. I want you to be writing short stories because short stories are a great way to experiment. You can do novel writing later in the year. We know there's a challenge for that. But short story writing is, first of all, they're palette cleansers. You get to experiment. You get to try out different voices, different tones. I'm not really a horror writer. Maybe I'll try a horror story during this challenge. Maybe I'll go really dark one day. Maybe I'll go really silly another day. Maybe I'll write a 6-word story. Maybe I'll write something really experimental. And taking part in a challenge like this can lead to big things. In the first year that I ran StoryADay May, there was a writer called Sarah Kane who was in the midst of searching for an agent. She'd written a bunch of novels and it was just starting to feel like a grind. And she was starting to question whether she should do this writer thing at all. And then along came StoryADay May. She jumped in, she wrote a story every day, and she discovered that she enjoyed writing again. She rediscovered the fun in writing. And that reinvigorated her whole approach to writing. She got back to the agent search. She found an agent. She got a 2-book deal. Those 2 books are sitting on my shelf over there right now. And she had fun along the way. It became less of a grind. StoryADay is a chance to plunge back into writing with no strings, no great stakes, just an explosion of creativity for one concentrated month in an extremely friendly and encouraging community. It's a chance to be silly in your daily writing goals and serious about your overall writing dreams. It's a chance to reboot your writing practice, figure out how to make it work for you right now. Not how it used to work, not how it's going to work 10 years from now, but right now. I'd be honoured to have you as part of the challenge. Come over to storyaday.org/sign up and commit to writing with us in May. Commit to honouring your dreams. Commit to being the kind of person who at least gives it a shot. We're all doing it. We'd love to have you with us. We understand your particular brand of weird. We encourage you to lean into it. If there's anything that the AI technology has shown me, it's that we don't need more bland writing in the world. And if you think you're not interesting enough, just consider nobody has lived the life that you've lived. Nobody has experienced the world the way you have. You have something to say, and I want to hear it. So please join us and keep writing. If you're a writer who wants to be writing more and writing better, sign up now for the StoryADay Challenge. Come over to storyaday.org/sign up to make sure you get daily prompts and all of the tools for the challenge before it begins. I'll see you inside and keep writing. Thanks for listening. Why not come over to the blog at storyaday.org and check out this week's writing prompts and articles. And in the meantime, have a great creative week and of course, keep writing.